It was the first day of classes at a prestigious international school in Los Angeles. The morning buzzed with chatter, laughter, and the clatter of lockers. But among the noise, one student walked quietly through the hallway, holding her books close to her chest. Her name was Princess Pacquiao, daughter of boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. But no one knew that yet. Dressed simply in jeans and a white sweater, she looked like any other student trying to find her way around a new school. Her face was calm, her smile polite, but there was a hint of nervousness in her eyes. As she entered her classroom, a few students glanced up. "Who's the new girl?" one of them whispered. "Her name's Princess?" another giggled. "What kind of name is that?" Princess pretended not to hear. She took a seat near the back and quietly arranged her notebooks. The teacher introduced her to the class. "Everyone, please welcome Princess Pacquiao. She's just transferred here from the Philippines." The moment the teacher said Pacquiao, a ripple of whispers spread through the room. "Wait, Pacquiao? Like Manny Pacquiao? No way, that can't be her." Princess smiled softly and gave a small nod. "Nice to meet you all," she said. Her voice was gentle, almost shy. Some students smiled back, but a few rolled their eyes. "She probably thinks she's famous or something," one girl muttered under her breath. "Let's see how long that smile lasts," another replied with a smirk. Princess focused on her lessons, pretending not to notice the stares. She didn't want special treatment. She didn't want attention. She just wanted to be normal, to learn, make friends, and fit in. At lunch, she sat quietly at a corner table eating the home-cooked meal her mom had packed for her. Around her, laughter echoed. The popular girls glanced her way, whispering again. But Princess didn't flinch. She just kept her posture straight, her expression calm, because deep down she knew who she was and she didn't need to prove it to anyone. They had no idea who they were messing with. The next morning, Princess arrived early again. She always did. It was part of how she was raised. To be on time, to be respectful, to give her best even when no one was watching. But in this new school, it didn't take long for whispers to turn into something colder. As she walked through the hallway, she noticed a few girls huddled by the lockers watching her. They weren't smiling, they were smirking. "Nice bag," one of them said loudly as Princess passed. "Did your dad buy it with boxing money?" The others snickered. Princess turned, forcing a polite smile. "My mom picked it out, actually." The girls exchanged glances, surprised she even responded. Then one of them, a tall blonde named Chloe, tilted her head mockingly. "So, your dad's like that boxer guy, right? Manny something?" Princess nodded slightly. "Yes, Manny Pacquiao," Chloe laughed. "Right! Guess that makes you what? A princess and a fighter?" The girls burst into laughter as they walked off. Princess exhaled softly. She'd dealt with this before, people who only saw her last name, not her heart. She wasn't angry, just disappointed. That day in class, the teasing grew bolder. Whenever Princess raised her hand to answer a question, someone would whisper, "Show off." When she gave the right answer, another voice muttered, "Of course she's smart, she's rich." By lunch, the whispers had turned into open mockery. She sat at her usual corner table unpacking her lunch. Rice, chicken, and vegetables neatly packed in a small container. Across the cafeteria, Chloe and her friends watched. "Ew, what's that smell?" one of them said. "It's probably her weird Filipino food," another sneered. They laughed again, loud enough for Princess to hear. Her fork froze mid-air. She looked up, meeting their eyes briefly, calm, steady, then simply went back to eating. That quiet strength unsettled them. "Why doesn't she say anything?" Chloe muttered. "It's creepy. She probably can't even speak English properly," one girl said with a fake accent. Princess's jaw tightened. She closed her lunchbox, wiped her hands, and stood up. Without a word, she walked past their table. Chloe smirked, expecting a reaction. But Princess didn't even look at her, and somehow that stung more than if she had yelled. Later that day in English class, the teacher assigned a short speech project. Students had to present something about their personal hero. When it was Princess's turn, she stood in front of the class with quiet confidence. "My hero," she began softly, "is my father. Not because he's a boxer or a senator or famous, but because he never forgot where he came from." The room went still. Even Chloe's smirk faded slightly. He taught me that strength isn't just about fighting. It's about kindness, about how you treat people when you have the power to hurt them but choose not to. For a moment, the class was silent. Then Chloe whispered loudly enough for others to hear. Guess she practiced that in front of a mirror. Snickers rippled again. Princess paused, but didn't lose composure. She finished her speech with a smile and quietly returned to her seat. The teacher, clearly moved, said, "Thank you, Princess. That was beautiful." But as the bell rang, Chloe leaned over and whispered, "You're not in the Philippines anymore, Princess. No one cares who your dad is here." Princess looked at her calmly. "That's fine. I'm not here for people to care about my dad. I'm here to learn." It wasn't said with arrogance. It was soft, respectful, but it carried weight. Chloe blinked, caught off guard. "Whatever," she muttered, pretending not to care. That afternoon, as Princess packed her bag, she noticed something strange. Her books was gone. Her bag, turned inside out and tossed near the trash can. A few students nearby snickered as she bent down to pick it up. Her notebooks were soaked in water, her pencil case missing. She took a slow breath, fighting the sting in her chest. She refused to cry. Just then, a quiet voice behind her said, "Hey, are you okay?" It was a boy from her class, Ethan. He'd been watching all day. Princess forced a small smile. "I'm fine. Thank you." Ethan frowned. "They shouldn't do that." "You didn't do anything wrong." Princess shook her head. "It's okay. My father always said, when they insult you, they show you who they are, not who you are." Ethan nodded slowly. "Still, they'll regret it one day." Princess zipped her damaged bag, standing tall. Her eyes softened but gleamed with quiet determination. She looked toward Chloe's group across the hall, laughing as they scrolled through their phones. Maybe they thought they'd broken her spirit. But in that moment, something else awakened inside her. Not anger, not revenge, but purpose. Because Princess Pacquiao wasn't raised to fight back with fists. She was raised to fight back with grace. Have you ever seen someone face bullying with quiet strength? Comment if you believe true power is staying calm under pressure. By the end of the week, everyone in class could feel the unspoken tension. Princess still arrived early every morning, her notebooks neat, her uniform spotless. She greeted the teachers, smiled at everyone, even those who whispered behind her back. But the bullies didn't stop. If anything, her calmness seemed to provoke them more. During group work, Chloe and her friends made sure Princess was left out. "We already have enough people," Chloe said sweetly before turning away. Princess simply nodded and chose to work alone. Later in the hallway, someone accidentally knocked her books to the floor. "Oops, didn't see you there," Chloe said, not even bothering to bend down. Princess quietly picked up her things as laughter echoed around her. That night at home, she sat at her desk, staring at her reflection in the window. The Los Angeles skyline blinked in the distance. Her mother peeked in. "How was school today, Anak?" Princess smiled faintly. "Good, Mama." Her mom studied her face for a second longer, then said softly, "Remember what Daddy always tells you?" Princess nodded. "Don't fight anger with anger, win with heart." "Exactly," her mother said, kissing her head before leaving the room. But deep inside, Princess felt something tighten. Why was it so hard for people to be kind? Why did they see humility as weakness? The next day, the tension finally snapped. It started during art class. Students were painting murals for an upcoming school fair. Princess's team had been assigned a corner wall. She was focused, carefully shading a sunrise scene. Chloe's group worked nearby, giggling as they half painted, half gossiped. When Princess stepped away to wash her brushes, one of them whispered, "Watch this." Before anyone could stop her, Chloe dipped her brush into black paint and smeared a dark streak right across Princess's sunrise. The class gasped. Princess turned around, stunned. Her beautiful orange and gold sky was ruined. Now an ugly slash cut through it like a wound. "Oops," Chloe said, grinning. "Guess I slipped." The teacher hadn't seen it. He was across the room helping another group. For a long second, no one moved. Then Princess took a slow, deliberate breath. She walked to the sink, cleaned her brush, and came back. Without a word, she began fixing the painting, layer by layer, stroke by stroke, covering the black with new color. Her classmates watched in silence. When she finished, The ugly mark had transformed into a shadowed mountain beneath the sunrise, making the picture even more powerful. Someone whispered, "She actually made it better." Princess smiled faintly and said, "Sometimes mistakes add depth." The teacher turned, noticed the scene, and clapped. "Beautiful work, Princess. Excellent recovery." Chloe's face flushed red. At lunch, the bullies huddled at their usual table, fuming. "She made me look bad," Chloe muttered. "Like I'm the villain or something." "Well, kinda were," one of her friends said hesitantly. Chloe shot her a glare. "Shut up. I'm not done with her." That afternoon, the class was assigned to give short partner presentations. By random draw, Princess was paired with Chloe. A ripple of whispers went through the room. Even the teacher chuckled nervously. Well, this should be interesting. During practice time, Chloe barely spoke to her. She typed half the slides, rolling her eyes whenever Princess offered help. When presentation day came, Princess carried both their notes to the front. Chloe sauntered behind, pretending confidence. Halfway through the talk, Chloe accidentally deleted their main slide. The projector went blank. The class murmured. Princess took a deep breath, glanced at the blank screen, and continued the presentation from memory. Her voice was calm, sure, and full of quiet conviction. When she finished, the class erupted in applause. Even the teacher stood. "Outstanding recovery, Princess," he said. "That's what leadership looks like." Chloe forced a smile, cheeks burning. After class, she slammed her locker shut. "She makes me look stupid without even trying," she snapped to her friends. "She's so fake." Acting all perfect, her friends exchanged uneasy looks. They'd started to admire Princess, though none dared admit it. Later, as Princess walked down the hall toward the exit, Chloe's temper finally boiled over. She stepped in front of Princess and shoved her shoulder. "Stop acting like you're better than everyone," she hissed. Princess steadied herself, eyes calm. "I've never said I was better than anyone, Chloe." "Then stop pretending to be nice all the time." "It's fake." Princess tilted her head slightly. "Kindness isn't fake. It's a choice." The hallway went dead quiet. Chloe's mouth opened, but no words came out. She turned and stormed off, muttering curses under her breath. Ethan, the quiet boy from before, appeared beside Princess. "You okay?" Princess nodded. "Yes, I just hope she finds peace someday." Ethan smiled in disbelief. "You're unreal, you know that." Princess laughed softly. "No, just trying to be real in a world that isn't." She slung her bag over her shoulder and walked out of the building. Sunlight pouring through the glass doors. Behind her, the students who had witnessed everything looked at each other, some ashamed, others inspired. None of them knew it yet, but this was only the beginning. Because the next time Chloe tried to embarrass Princess, the world would see exactly who she truly was. When the school hosted a self-defense class, the bullies finally pushed too far, and Princess showed them a side of her they'd never forget. A week later, the school's gym buzzed with excitement. The administration had invited a local coach to teach a self-defense and confidence workshop. Posters all over campus read, "Stand strong, learn to defend yourself." Students gathered in the bleachers, laughing and chatting, unaware this day would become unforgettable. Princess sat quietly with her class, dressed in the school's PE uniform. She tied her hair neatly into a ponytail, her expression calm. Across the gym, Chloe and her friends noticed her and exchanged sly smiles. "Oh, this is going to be fun," Chloe whispered. "Let's see how perfect Princess Pacquiao handles this." The coach, a cheerful man in his 40s, blew his whistle. "All right, class. Today's not about fighting. It's about confidence, awareness, and control. Who's brave enough to volunteer first?" Hands shot up around the room, but not Princess's. She didn't want attention. She'd had enough of that. Chloe nudged her friend Madison. "Watch this," she stood up. "Coach," she called. "Why don't we get the new girl to show us what she's got?" Laughter rippled through the students. Princess looked up slowly. The coach smiled kindly. "Would you like to, Miss Pacquiao?" Chloe answered for her, pretending innocence. "She might have a few tricks from her dad." The coach chuckled.
"Pacquiao?"
"Any relation to?" Princess nodded politely. "He's my father, sir." A low murmur spread through the gym. "No way. Wait, like the Manny Pacquiao? Seriously?" The coach grinned. "Well, that's an honor. But today everyone's equal here. Fame doesn't matter, discipline does. Let's see what you've got, Princess." She rose from the bench, heart steady. Every eye in the gym followed her as she stepped onto the mat. Okay, the coach said. We'll start simple. Defensive stance. Show me how you'd protect yourself. Princess inhaled deeply. Then, in one smooth motion, she slid into a textbook boxing stance. Balanced, light on her feet, fists up, chin tucked. It was effortless, precise. The coach blinked. That's actually perfect form. The class went quiet. Even Chloe's smile faded. Good, the coach said, impressed. Now light sparring. Controlled movements. No power shots. He gestured for another volunteer. Before Princess could speak, Chloe raised her hand again. I'll go, coach, she said quickly. Princess turned to her. Are you sure? Chloe smirked. Don't worry, Princess. I'll go easy on you. The coach shrugged and motioned them forward. Remember, no harm, just practice. They faced each other. For a moment, the gym was silent except for the squeak of sneakers on the mat. Begin. Chloe lunged clumsily. Throwing a wide, exaggerated punch meant more to impress the crowd than to land. Princess sidestepped effortlessly. One smooth pivot, graceful as water. Gasps filled the air. Chloe tried again, faster this time. But Princess blocked the swing with calm precision, guiding Chloe's arm away without force. The coach's eyebrows shot up. Excellent control. Princess didn't counterattack. She simply moved, deflected, and retreated, her eyes soft but focused. Each dodge made Chloe more frustrated. What's wrong? Chloe hissed between breaths. Too scared to hit back? Princess smiled faintly. Self-defense isn't about hurting people. Chloe grunted and charged again, slipping on the mat and nearly falling. Princess caught her before she hit the ground. The gym erupted in laughter and applause. Princess helped her up gently. Are you okay? Chloe's face burned red. She yanked her hand away. I'm fine. The coach blew the whistle. That's enough. Well done, both of you. The crowd clapped loudly. Some students even shouted, Go Princess. She's awesome. Chloe stormed off the mat, humiliated. Princess bowed slightly to the coach before returning to her seat. Ethan leaned over from the bench behind her. That was incredible. Princess shrugged modestly. It was just practice. Yeah, he said, smiling. But you just taught the whole school what real confidence looks like. When the class ended, the coach addressed everyone. Today's lesson isn't just about punches or blocks, he said, glancing meaningfully at Princess. It's about respect for yourself and for others. Remember, true strength is quiet. As students filed out, whispers filled the hallways. She's actually really cool. She didn't even show off. She moved like a real pro. Princess kept her head low, but a faint smile played on her lips. She wasn't happy that Chloe was embarrassed. She just hoped the message had landed. But Chloe's pride was shattered. In her mind, everyone was laughing at her, and humiliation can be more dangerous than hate. That evening, Chloe scrolled through social media, fuming. A few classmates had posted short clips from the self-defense class. One caption read, Princess Pacquiao, pure grace. Another, don't mess with a Pacquiao. The comments piled up, praising Princess, mocking Chloe. Her phone buzzed nonstop. She slammed it down on her bed, eyes blazing. She thinks she's untouchable, she muttered. We'll see how perfect she really is. At that very moment, across town, Princess sat with her family at dinner. Her father, home from training, listened as she quietly recounted her week. I tried not to fight back, she said, but it keeps getting harder. Manny smiled gently. You did right, Anak. Remember, when people see your peace, they're really seeing your strength. Let your actions speak louder than anger. Princess nodded, his words settling deep in her heart. But neither of them knew that the next day everything would come to a head, and the lesson would become much bigger than either of them expected. The bullies push one step too far. This time Princess finally speaks up, and what she says leaves the whole school silent. The next morning, the air in the hallway felt charged. Everyone had seen the clips from the self-defense class. The video had spread overnight through group chats and social media. Students stopped Princess in the corridors, smiling or whispering words of admiration. Hey, that was awesome yesterday. You were so calm. She totally outclassed Chloe. Princess just smiled politely. Thank you. She didn't want to fuel gossip. She only hoped Chloe would let things go. But pride doesn't fade that easily. When Princess walked into class, she immediately felt the chill. Chloe sat in her seat, flanked by her usual friends, eyes cold. The teacher hadn't arrived yet. "Oh, look, it's the champion's daughter," Chloe said loudly. The laughter was nervous this time, unsure. Princess put her bag down quietly. "Can you please move?" "That's my seat," Chloe smirked. "Oh, of course, Your Highness. I wouldn't want to take your throne." Her friends giggled, but half-heartedly. The energy was off. Everyone sensed it. Princess sighed softly. "Chloe, I don't want to fight with you." Chloe leaned closer. "Then stop pretending you're better than me." "I'm not," Princess said evenly. "I just want peace." That calm tone made Chloe angrier. She suddenly stood up and shoved Princess's shoulder. Not hard enough to hurt, but enough to draw gasps. "Or what? You gonna box me, Pacquiao?" The room froze. Phones appeared. Princess took a single step back, straightened her posture, and spoke clearly. "No, I'm not going to fight you." The silence was so heavy that even the hum of the air conditioner seemed to stop. Then, in that same calm voice, she continued, "But you should stop thinking that being cruel makes you strong. It doesn't." Chloe blinked, thrown off. "What?" Princess met her eyes. "You laugh at others to look powerful, but it only shows how small you feel inside. I don't hate you for it. I just hope one day you'll realize what real strength is." The class was completely still. Even the friends who'd giggled before looked away, ashamed. Chloe tried to recover. "You think you know everything just because your dad's famous?" Princess shook her head. "No, I just know what he taught me." She took a breath, her voice steady but firm. He said, "The real fight isn't in the ring, it's inside you. Every day you decide whether to be better or bitter." For a moment, Chloe's glare wavered. The words hit harder than any punch could. The teacher entered just then, sensing the tension. "What's going on here?" Princess turned. "Nothing, sir." "We're fine." The class quietly returned to their seats. The teacher began the lesson, but no one was really listening. They were still thinking about what Princess had said. After class, as students filed out, Chloe stayed behind, arms crossed, staring at the floor. Princess paused by the door. "Chloe," she said softly, "I meant what I said. I don't want to embarrass you. I just want us all to be treated with respect." Chloe didn't answer. Her face was flushed, jaw tight. When Princess finally left, Chloe sank into her chair, hands trembling. Not with rage anymore, but confusion. Her friends hovered uncertainly. "Chloe, maybe she's not so bad," one whispered. Chloe didn't respond. For the first time, she had nothing to say. That afternoon, word of the confrontation spread across campus like wildfire. Some students called Princess brave. Others said she was too calm to be real. But most agreed on one thing. She'd handled herself with grace no one expected. Ethan caught up to her by the courtyard after school. "Hey," he said, "that was amazing. I've never seen anyone stand up like that." Princess smiled. "I didn't stand up to hurt her. I stood up to show her she couldn't hurt me." Ethan nodded slowly, absorbing that. "You think she'll stop?" Princess looked toward the fading sun. "Maybe, maybe not. But I won't change who I am because of her." The wind rustled through the trees. For the first time since she'd transferred, Princess felt light, like she'd finally drawn a line without losing herself. Across the courtyard, Chloe watched from a distance, the anger on her face slowly melting into something else. Shame, maybe even respect. She didn't approach, not yet. But something had shifted. When Princess got home that night, she found her father in the gym, shadowboxing silently. She told him what happened. Manny listened carefully, then smiled. "I'm proud of you, Anak. You didn't throw a punch, but you landed the strongest blow. Truth." Princess laughed softly. "I just told her what you always tell me." He nodded. "Then you fought well." By Monday morning, the school felt different. Something had shifted since Princess spoke up. Students still whispered in the hallways, but this time, her name wasn't followed by laughter. Clips from the self-defense class and fragments of Friday's confrontation had made their way online. No one knew exactly who had filmed them, but the short videos were spreading fast. Under the caption, "The Pacquiao daughter who chose grace over violence," the posts were being shared hundreds of times. When Princess arrived at school, a few classmates actually smiled and waved. "Morning, Princess." "Hey, that speech you gave. That was cool." She smiled back, shy but warm. She didn't realize yet how far the story had traveled. By mid-morning, the principal called an assembly. "All students to the gym, please." Whispers buzzed as everyone gathered on the bleachers. Chloe sat near the back, arms folded, pretending not to care. The principal stood at the center of the court with a microphone. Beside him was the same self-defense coach from the previous week, and a few local reporters. "Students," the principal began, "our school has recently received a great deal of attention online. Many of you have seen the video featuring one of our students, Miss Princess Pacquiao." A ripple of gasps spread across the crowd. Princess's face went pale. She hadn't expected this. The principal continued, smiling kindly. Her composure and respect in the face of bullying reflect not only her family's values, but the values we hope to teach here: integrity, humility, and courage. The gym filled with applause. Princess's classmates looked toward her, cheering and clapping. She bowed her head slightly, embarrassed but grateful. Then the coach spoke. "I've worked with hundreds of students," he said. "But what Princess showed last week wasn't skill, it was character. True strength isn't measured by punches. It's measured by restraint." Reporters snapped photos. A few students recorded the moment. In the back row, Chloe's stomach churned. Every word hit her like a stone. She hadn't just bullied another student. She'd tried to humiliate someone who had only ever shown her kindness. When the assembly ended, the principal asked Princess to meet briefly in his office. Chloe hesitated, then followed a few steps behind. Inside the office, Princess sat quietly across from the principal, her father Manny seated beside her. He'd flown in that morning after hearing about the viral video. The principal smiled warmly. "Mr. Pacquiao, it's an honor to meet you." "Thank you, sir," Manny replied. "I'm just a father today." He turned to Princess. "You okay, Anak?" She nodded. A little overwhelmed, but okay. Just then there was a soft knock at the door. Chloe stood outside, eyes red-rimmed, clutching her backpack straps. "Come in," the principal said. Chloe stepped forward, voice trembling. I needed to say something." Manny and Princess turned toward her. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For everything. I was jealous. I thought making you look small would make me feel big, but it just made me mean." Princess's eyes softened. She stood and walked closer. "It takes courage to say sorry," she said gently. "Thank you." Chloe looked up, tears spilling over. "You're really nice, you know that?" "You could have ruined me online." "But you didn't." Princess shook her head. "Hurting you wouldn't make me better. Forgiving you does." The room went quiet. Even the principal had to blink back emotion. Manny finally spoke. "My daughter learned that from her mother," he said with a smile. "And from life. We all fall sometimes, it's what we do after that shows who we are." Chloe nodded, wiping her face. "I want to do better." "You will," Princess said, offering her a small hug. When they left the office, the hallways were lined with students waiting for a glimpse of the boxer's daughter. But what they saw wasn't a celebrity. It was a young girl holding another student's hand, both smiling through tears. That image traveled faster than any fight highlight. By evening, the video of their reconciliation had gone viral. Comments poured in. Manny raised her right. Real strength, sheer's kindness. Respect to Princess Pacquiao. At home that night, Princess scrolled through the messages in disbelief. Her father sat beside her, watching quietly. "You see?" he said softly. "You didn't just defend yourself, Anak. You defended what matters most, respect." Princess leaned her head on his shoulder. "I just wanted peace." "And you found it," Manny replied. "Because peace follows those who create it." He smiled proudly, then added with a wink. "But remind them, Pacquiaos can fight too, if we have to." They both laughed. The next morning, when Princess returned to school, Chloe met her at the gates. This time there was no tension, just gratitude. "Hey," Chloe said shyly. "I saved you a seat in class," Princess smiled. "I'd like that." The two girls walked inside together, the sunlight pouring through the hallway windows, their shadows stretching side by side. And for the first time since she'd arrived, Princess Pacquiao felt truly at home. The story of Princess Pacquiao spreads across the internet. Millions are inspired, and the world learns what true strength really means. Within days, the story of Princess Pacquiao had spread far beyond her school. Clips of her confrontation, her calm speech, and the heartfelt apology in the principal's office were being shared across every major platform. Headlines read, Manny Pacquiao's daughter stands up to bullies. With grace, not violence. The Pacquiao legacy of strength continues, but in a new way. Celebrities reposted the video. Teachers used it as an example of emotional intelligence. Even international news outlets picked it up. At first, Princess couldn't believe it. "I didn't mean for this to get so big," she told her father. Manny just smiled. "The right things get big on their own, Anak. The world needs stories like yours." Despite the viral fame, Princess stayed grounded. She still took the bus to school, still studied quietly, still smiled at everyone, even those who had once mocked her. The bullies who had teased her before now looked at her with admiration, even respect. Chloe especially was different. One morning, Chloe approached her in the cafeteria. "Hey," she said softly. "I joined the community outreach club. You inspired me." Princess's face lit up. "That's amazing. What made you decide?" Chloe shrugged, a little embarrassed. "I figured if you can forgive me, maybe I can do something that makes people proud too." Princess smiled. "You already are." The two girls sat together at lunch for the first time, chatting like old friends. Around them, students who once whispered now waved and greeted Princess with warmth. The school felt lighter, kinder. But the biggest surprise came a week later. The school announced that Princess had been invited to speak at a youth conference on character and leadership, alongside her father. When the day came, the auditorium was packed. Cameras flashed, banners waved, and a quiet hush fell as Princess walked to the podium. She took a deep breath and looked out at the sea of faces, students, teachers, reporters, and her proud family sitting in the front row. "Hi, everyone," she began with a gentle smile. "My name is Princess Pacquiao, and yes, I'm the daughter of that Pacquiao." Laughter rippled through the room. The tension eased. "But today," she continued, "I don't want to talk about boxing. I want to talk about battles that happen outside the ring, the ones we fight in silence." The audience leaned in. "I used to think strength meant being louder than the person hurting you. But when I was bullied, I realized strength isn't loud. It's calm. It's quiet. It's choosing to stay kind when it would be easier to get even." Her voice trembled slightly, but her eyes stayed steady. "People told me I should have fought back, with my fists, with my name, with my father's fame. But what would that have proved? That I can hit hard? My dad already proved that. I wanted to prove something else. That kindness can be powerful too." The crowd erupted in applause. Cameras flashed. She paused, waiting for silence to return, then smiled again. "My father once told me, you don't win by hurting others. You win by lifting them up." I didn't understand it at first, but now I do. She glanced toward Chloe, who was sitting near the front, tears glistening in her eyes. "Even people who hurt you are fighting battles you can't see. When you choose forgiveness, you don't just free them, you free yourself." The applause this time was thunderous, standing and echoing through the hall. After the event, dozens of students lined up just to shake her hand. Teachers thanked her for her message. Journalists asked for interviews, but when Manny finally hugged her, he whispered the only words that truly mattered. "I've won world titles, Anak. But you just won hearts, and that's the greatest victory of all." Princess smiled through tears. "I learned from the best." As they walked out of the auditorium, sunlight bathed the steps in gold. The crowd outside cheered, holding up signs that read, "Respect, kindness, Pacquiao pride." Chloe ran up to join her, linking arms. "Come on, champ," she said playfully. "Lunch is on me," Princess laughed. "Only if it's adobo." They both burst into laughter as cameras flashed again, capturing not a fight, but a friendship, the kind that grows only when pride gives way to humility. That night, back home in her room, Princess opened her phone and saw the comment section beneath her speech. One comment stood out from the rest. "I showed this video to my daughter," she said. "I want to be like Princess Pacquiao when I grow up. Thank you for reminding us what real courage looks like." Princess smiled softly, tears brimming in her eyes. She turned off her phone, looked at her reflection, and whispered, "Maybe this is what I was meant to fight for." Outside her window, the moon hung high over the quiet city, the same moon that once shone over the boxing rings her father conquered. Only this time, it illuminated a new kind of champion, one who didn't win with her fists, but with her heart. If you believe no one should be judged, mocked, or bullied for who they are, type respect in the comments and share this story to remind the world that kindness is strength.